So we talked about identifying structure when Bounceback calls a trade, right? So this entry point, everybody should be able to see how we are currently at resistance, right? Everybody could see that we are at daily resistance. Look and see what happens to the market every time it gets into this area. Can everybody see that? No, it wasn't recorded. So, but I am repeating it now. So we can look here, we can see how price is actually rejecting in this area, right? So now that we are back in this zone and we come down one time frame to the daily time frame, we were just on the weekly. What can we see happening here? My only concern about here is that the sellers are not really that strong as yet, right? So I won't just go ahead and buy, and sell, right? I won't just go ahead and sell, because if we go back to the weekly time frame, every time price comes up in this area, what happens? We see a strong reaction from the sellers, right? Everybody should be able to see this. This is resistance here, right? We see a strong reaction there, right? We have an engulfing there. We have an engulfing here, right? We're seeing some strong reactions here. We had a bit of struggle, but then you could see how the sellers took us right out of that resistance zone. So right now, I don't see anything that tells me that this trade here is ready as yet, because the sellers are weak, right? The sellers are weak. So it would make sense now that Bounceback has actually called a buy on the 1 hour time frame. So on a smaller time frame, so let's look at 1.01898, 1.01, let's look for it, 1.01898. Right, so just above where they call that sell, they're now calling for a buy. So let me just change the color for a second so we know. So I put that red so we know that's our sell, and I'm going to put this blue so we know this is our buy. Good. So Bounceback has called the buy in this area, right? So let's deal with the buy first. Let's come down to the 15-minute time frame, right? Come down to 15-minute time frame. The first thing we want to do is identify that downtrend, right? The first thing we want to do is identify that downtrend, right? Does everybody agree with the trend line that I have just drawn? Does everybody agree with the trend line that I have just drawn? Good. So what we're waiting for here is we're waiting for price to break above our trend line. Please do not prematurely enter the trade. And that's the problem with a lot of you on why you hit stop loss, is because number one, you don't understand market structure. And number two, you're prematurely rushing the trade. You're entering it too early, right? So we get into this trade now. What would be our take profit point? To identify take profit, we need to look for structure. Where can we see the market being constantly rejected? We need to now identify structure in the market, right? So if I had to come here and come across here, would you agree that this is structure? Let me change it to a different color. Would you agree that this is structure here in the market? If you look left, you notice the market comes up here and it rejects all the time on a smaller time frame. So what does this tell you? Would you agree that this is structure? Come on, guys, we should know simple support and resistance. All right? This is a take profit point. If you wanted to bring it down to catch that last high, you can. But personally, right, if this breaks, we're looking for the trade to come back up to resistance. So this will be our take profit region. Right? This will be our take profit region, because look and see what's happening every time the market comes up here. And the market loves this area. The market loves this area. Right? The market loves any area with double zeros. Right? Double, triple zeros, you name it. The market loves these types of numbers, these whole numbers. That's why you notice that the market keeps going up to these whole numbers, right? We spoke about this a couple classes ago. The market loves these types of whole numbers, right? 1.02200, 1.02300. Notice what the market is doing within these whole numbers, these areas, right? So you guys have a take profit point for your new bounce back. You have a take profit point for your new bounce back. So, and you also know that stop loss now, if you come down smaller time frame, we're looking for stop loss to be at the last low. Now, this red was the entry for the sell on the daily time frame. You can use it for your stop loss. That's the truth. Because you can see how the market is using this as an area of support. So you can use this as your stop loss and price breaks above. So if we're going to set a call level, right? So if we're going to set a call level on this trade, how am I going to identify where I should put my call levels? I'm going to go down to 5-minute time frame. Let's do auto here. So I'm going to set a call level on this trade. Again, I'm going to identify structure, right? So structure on my lower time frame is around here, right? This is my little resistance on support equals resistance on my 5-minute time frame. Therefore, on my 5-minute time frame, I need for price to break this resistance. So that becomes my call level, 1.01994. That's my call level, because what I want to see now is price, right, breaking my trend line, but also breaking my resistance and testing it before it pushes up. So this is what I want to see. This is why my call level is here, right? This is why my call level is here. Everybody following? So that's your call level. You know your stop loss. Your stop loss can actually be a lot tighter if you want. You can put your stop loss here, right? You can put your stop loss below the last low on the 5-minute time frame. That can be your stop loss. Good stuff. So let's now identify the sell. So we have that short-term buy. Hope everyone has that. Perfect. So let's identify the sell. So I'm going to remove this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to send a screenshot of this for those who don't have it. Let me just take this out. And send a screenshot. right? So you know that this is call level, that price point there. And you know your take profit point. So hopefully this helps you guys. This will be stop loss. So I'm gonna put it in red. Good. So let me just take that screenshot now. There we are. And I will, where is my Telegram? 2 seconds, guys. Let me just post this in the Telegram so you guys can have a look at it. So the next one we're going to go through is USD on the daily time frame. Just waiting for my Telegram to load. There we go. Boom. Good. So I'm going to take this off now. And we're going to go back through the daily. So remember, price is telling us to sell around 1.01797. So 1.01797. Yes. Right. That's where price is telling us to sell on the daily time frame. Not often you get a trade on the daily from Bounceback. But anyway, let's identify structure all over again. So let's identify structure. So we can see we also at weekly resistance, huh? So you guys can see that we are at weekly resistance. Good. So we know this is where Bounceback is calling the sell. We can see that the sellers are weak, so we're not ready for the sellers yet. Dropping 2 time frames down is going to bring us to the 1 hour time frame, right? So it's going to bring us to the 1 hour time frame. So join the trend line. You can come from any low, right? Any low. Identify your uptrend, right? You can do that. You can do that. It doesn't matter. Any low to identify your last uptrend, right? So if we wanted to get into this trade, we need to see price breaking 2 areas. We're looking at structure, right? We want to see price breaking here. So do this. Make it different color. So we want to see price breaking this support, right? Therefore, call level will be placed around here. That's your call level, right? That's your call level. And take profit points. Let's look for take profits, right? Take profit points. This will be a very, very lovely trade. But let's look for some take profit points. So what we're identifying is structure, right? What we're going to identify is structure. Take profits. I'm going to put it in green. So you can see structure here. right? This is resistance equals support, so we can guarantee that the trade is definitely going to come down there, right? We can also see structure here as well, right? So you can see structure there. That's another take profit point. And then finally, you can see structure here. Just fix that. Right? So these are your 3 take profit points that I'm going to give you. Don't want to give you too much. There we go. 3 take profit points that you have when this trade has broken that daily high, right? So this is the first one of interest. And this is a lot of pips in the market. Trust me, a lot of us have been waiting for USD to drop for the longest time. If Christopher is on here, he's actually waiting for this to drop since yesterday. So the first take profit is around 66 pips. Second take profit is around 222 pips. And third take profit is around 332 pips. I mean, guys, up to you, depending on if you swing trade or day trade. Day trader, this is a good movement for 66 pips, 65 pips. This is a good movement here, right? So guys, as I told you already, even before Bounceback called out that short-term buy, right, that we've identified, you can even look here, and this is what I want you guys to actually be able to figure out. You can look and see what is happening in this area. Now we know that based on structure, every time price comes up in the daily and weekly resistance, we get a sharp move from the sellers. So we can see that we are in seller's territory whenever we come up in this area. However, on this toss, now that we are in this area, the sellers are weak, right? The sellers are weak. They're not showing much movement. So we know that the sell is not ready, right? So you know that you have that short-term buy first before we get that sell. And I am just going to place this here. I'm just going to do that for now. And I'm going to send this to the Telegram group as well. Okay. So you have the call level for both. Good. So guys, I will send out the other 2 trays on Telegram just as a little bonus for you guys. The other 2 minor trays, but you have USD SGD anyway. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. This call has been recorded. Remember to look for structure. Structure will then identify what's happening in that area. If this is time for me to enter the trade, should I enter the trade now? Should I wait to see what's happening in this area? And other stuff like, where's my take profit? Where should I look to exit my trade? Where is structure on this market? All right. So guys, that's very, very, very important. This is what I taught last week in the bonus bounce back call. As I said, this call is recorded. Thank you for joining me today for Bounce Back, and I hope to see you guys on Thursday, same time at 6 a.m. Take care.